Hi, welcome back to the course that is Fundamentals of Crop Physiology. Today we are going to discuss about photosynthesis. In last 2 to 3 lectures, we have completed the topic that is mineral nutrition, okay, which is also one of the important. So kindly remember all the important things from that topic. Okay, so photosynthesis. In the photosynthesis, as we know, plants are independent for their food. They are preparing their food by themselves. They are not depending on some other living organism for the food because they are containing chlorophyll. And as we know, the green color of the leaves of most of the plants because of the presence of the chlorophyll in the leaf. And these chlorophyll are green colored bodies which are present in the leaf. And the chlorophyll is containing chloroplast, which is able to prepare their food. And the food is nothing but the carbohydrates and other organic substances by the use of sunlight in the presence of chlorophyll using carbon dioxide and water. They are preparing their food because that's why they are independent in nature for the food. In the photosynthesis, important points are there, that is what is photosynthesis, its definition, then how the uh, photosynthetic apparatus, that is chlorophyll, chloroplast, okay, which is the playing an important role in the production of their food. Then next is the quality of the light required for the photosynthesis. Then what are the different stages involved in photosynthesis, and what is meant by photophosphorylation, what are the types of photophosphorylation. All these things we are going to discuss in this lecture. Okay, so I will share my PPT. Okay, so photosynthesis definition, pigments involved, then structure of chloroplast, light reaction, and photolysis of water, then immersion effect, cyclic and non-cyclic electron transport, and significance of light reaction. Okay, so these are the things we are going to discuss about. Okay, so the first of all, as we know, in the plant leaf, there is a presence of chlorophyll, and in this chlorophyll, the water which was absorbed by the root and carbon dioxide, by using this carbon dioxide and water, plants are able to convert this carbon dioxide and water, that is H2O, into carbohydrates, and during which the oxygen is released as a byproduct. Okay, so this is the overall things which are happening in photosynthesis. So here sunlight, then chloroplast, water, carbon dioxide are the crucial things or important things. In the absence of one of these, plants are unable to prepare carbohydrates, or they are not able to survive in the absence of one of these factors. Moving on to the next slide. This is a general equation of photosynthesis. In our notes, by mistakenly, it is given as a 6CO2 plus 12H2O. Kindly ignore that mistake and correct it to 6CO2 plus 6H2O in the presence of light and chloroplast. We will get C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Okay, this is the form of carbohydrate, and one more component getting formed, that is oxygen. Okay, so that's why the plants are providing us oxygen, which is the byproduct or and simultaneously forming component, that is oxygen. Okay, and the plant chloroplasts are using this carbon dioxide and H2O in the presence of light. They are converting it into the carbohydrates and oxygen. Okay, so the definition of the photosynthesis is the biosynthesis of glucose by the chloroplast of green plants using water and carbon dioxide in the presence of light is called as photosynthesis. Okay, so this is the definition of photosynthesis. Another definition, it is oxidation reduction process in which carbohydrates produced by reduction of CO2 and H2O is oxidized in the presence of light and chlorophyll, during which oxygen is released as byproduct. Okay, so these are the two definitions of photosynthesis. Again, during the process of photosynthesis, the light energy is converted into chemical energy and is stored in the organic matter, which is usually the carbohydrates. Okay, so a carbohydrate is one of the form of organic matter in which this energy or this chemical energy is stored, which can be used later after the process of respiration. Okay, so whatever carbohydrates produced during photosynthesis are again used in respiration, where actually forms of energy, that is adenosine triphosphate, that is ATP or ADP, are formed, and which can be the form of energy and used as it is by the plant in number of metabolic reactions which are happening at cell level, tissue level. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. Photosynthetic pigments. Now, these photosynthetic pigments means what? The photosynthetic pigments are nothing but the actually pigments which are present in the chloroplast and playing an important role in the photosynthesis process. So, in which, first of all, chlorophyll, carotenoids, and phycobilians are the type of the pigments which are involved in the photosynthesis directly or indirectly. Okay, so the chlorophyll, then carotenoids, and phycobilians. Again, chlorophyll and carotenoids are insoluble in water and can be extracted only with organic solvents such as acetone, petroleum ether, and alcohol. Okay, so these are the actually property of this carotenoid and chlorophyll. Then phycobilians are soluble in water. Carotenoids include carotene and xanthophyll. The xanthophylls are also called as carotenoids. Okay, so these are the photosynthetic pigments, that is chlorophyll, carotenoids, and phycobilians. Then the next is chlorophylls, which are green in color or green pigments. Chlorophyll, the molecular formula for chlorophyll A is C55H72O5N4Mg. Okay, so this is the formula for chlorophyll A, and for the chlorophyll B, C55H70O6N4Mg. Okay, so in the last lecture we discussed about the magnesium, which is important in the formation of chlorophyll pigments. Okay, so here we are able to check that this Mg is present in the chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B also. Next point, chlorophyll is formed from protochlorophyll in light. Okay, so the protochlorophyll is nothing but the precursor for these chlorophyll pigments. Chlorophyll A found in photosynthesizing plant except bacteria, while chlorophyll B found in higher plant and green algae. Okay, so chlorophyll A and B, which are capable of doing the process of photosynthesis and which are present in the higher plants and blue-green algae. Bacterial chlorophyll, that is chlorophyll A, B, chlorophyll C, D, and E, which are mainly found in purple and green bacteria. Okay, so in some bacteria also these chlorophyll pigments are present in the different forms. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Another pigments, that is carotenoids, which is yellow or orange pigments. Chlorophyll is green in color, while these carotenoids, which are yellow or orange pigments, in which first is carotenes. Carotenes are hydrocarbons with a molecular formula C40H56. Okay. Then xanthophylls, which are also called as carotenoids. The molecular formula is C40H56O2. The role of carotenoid is absorption of light energy and transfer the light energy to chlorophyll A molecules. Okay, so the actually chlorophyll A are responsible for this photosynthesis process, but these other pigments, that is xanthophylls, carotenoids, which are helping by absorbing light and transferring it to the chlorophyll A. They play a very important role in preventing photodynamic damage within the photosynthetic apparatus. Okay, so this photodynamic damage is the process where, because of the intensity of the light, sometimes this chlorophyll A is got damaged, and this damage is controlled by the carotenoids, xanthophylls. Next point, photodynamic damage is caused by the O2 molecule, which is very reactive and is capable of oxidizing whole range of organic compounds such as chlorophyll, and thereby making the unfit for their normal physiological function. Okay, so uh, also because of the oxygen, this photodynamic damages takes place, and in that particular, to control this damage, xanthophylls are playing an important role. Next, carotenes and xanthophylls are found mainly in the higher plants and algae. Then phycobillions, which are red and blue pigments. Okay, so the phycobillions, first point, that is phycocyanins, phycocorythrins, and allophycocyanin, mainly found in blue-green algae and red algae. Okay, so in the phycobillion also there are specific types which are present in this blue-green algae and red algae. Moving on to the next slide, that is photosynthetic apparatus. Okay, photosynthetic apparatus or machinery. Okay, in some other words we can say it's a machinery or actually system, okay, which is playing an important role in the process of photosynthesis, that is chloroplast. Okay, so in the chloroplast, here it is a diagram representing the structure of chloroplast, in which a number of organelles are present. In first of all, these coin-like structures take one each other, that is called as a thylakoids. Okay, and when they are in most of the more than one or two, which is called as a granum. Then chloroplast DNA is also present in the chloroplast, as we discussed in our first second lecture, that is chloroplast and mitochondria is containing their own DNA other than the nucleolus DNAs, okay, or which are present in the nucleus. Other than that, in the mitochondria and chloroplast also there is a DNA. Then the fluid which is present is called as a stroma, which is in the chloroplast. Other than that, ribosomes are also present. Then thylakoid membrane is also there. Lamella is there, and it is double layer structure. So internal membrane is there. Intramembrane space is there, and one more membrane outside, that is called the external membrane. Okay, so in this particular chloroplast, the light reaction of the photosynthesis takes place. Okay, actually, when we will discuss about the mechanism of photosynthesis, in which we will discuss about this photosynthesis reaction or mechanism of photosynthesis is completed in two different reactions. First one is the light reaction, and second one is the dark reaction. In the light reaction, which is also called as a primary or chemical reaction, while dark reaction is also called as a Blackman's reaction or path of carbon in photosynthesis. Okay, in which actually energy is get formed from the organic matter which is produced during photosynthesis or in the light reaction. Okay, so moving on to the next slide, that is structure of this chloroplast. Okay, so the chloroplast in green plant constitute the photosynthetic apparatus, which is in higher plant the chloroplast is discoid in shape, which is 4 to 6 micron in length and 1 to 2 micron thick. Okay, so this is the size of the chloroplast generally occurring in the higher plants. The chloroplast is bounded by 2-unit membrane of approximately 50 angstrom unit thickness and consists of lipid and proteins. Okay, so the chloroplast, which is bimembrane structure, and it contains number of types of the lipids and proteins. The thickness of the two membranes, including the space enclosed by them, is approximately 300 angstrom units. Okay, and in the bracket, 1 angstrom unit is equal to 0.1 centimeter for our understanding purpose. Okay, so this is about the size of the chloroplast. Internally, the chloroplast is filled with a hydrophilic matrix called as stroma embedded with grana. Means what? This hydrophilic matrix, which is called as stroma, and in the stroma, this grana, the stroma is embedded with the grana. Each grana consists of 5 to grana is also called as granum. Okay, in the diagram it's given like a granum. So in each grana consists of 5 to 25 disc shaped granulamella, which is thylakoid, placed one above the other like the stake of coins. Okay, so this is the structure actually. Okay, it is green, which is called as granum or grana. Okay, so the moving on to the next slide, that is mechanism of photosynthesis. Okay, so mechanism in which, as I told, light reaction is there and dark reaction is there. Light reaction which is takes place in the chloroplast, while dark reaction some part is there in the mitochondria, some part is there in the chloroplast also. Okay, so the mechanism of photosynthesis, which is in two steps. First is light reaction, or which is also called as primary photochemical reaction, or which is also called as Hill's reaction or Arnon cycle. And second one is dark reaction or Blackman's reaction, which is also called as path of carbon in photosynthesis. So kindly remember all these optional names of the stages of photosynthesis, because in the final theory examination sometimes these optional names may appear in your question paper. So don't confuse with that. Kindly remember all these optional names of the reactions. Okay, so the first thing, that is light reaction, which we'll discuss first of all, and later on dark reaction. So the light reaction or primary photochemical reaction or Hill's reaction, in which in the light reaction ATP and NADPH2 are produced. In the dark reaction, CO2 is reduced with the help of ATP and NADPH2 to produce glucose. So the first of all, in the light reaction, whatever ATPs and NADPH2s are produced, which this ATP will later used in the dark reaction to for the CO2 reduction and to produce the glucose. Second one, next point, that is the chlorophyll absorbs the light energy, and hence the chlorophyll is called photosystem or pigment system. Okay, or it can be also called as a photosynthetic apparatus, because this chlorophyll absorbs the light energy. Then chlorophyll are of different types and they absorb different wavelength of lights. Okay, so the all type of the light, sunlight, which cannot be used by the chlorophyll. Okay, because this certain wavelength of the light is required by the chlorophyll. According, chlorophyll are different types and they absorb different wavelength of lights. Accordingly, chlorophyll exists in two photosystems. Okay, photosystem 1, that is also called as PS1, and photosystem 2, that is PS2. Both photosystems are affected by the light with wavelength shorter than 680 nanometer, while photosystem first is affected by the light with wavelengths longer than 680 nanometer. Okay, so the sunlight, or and part of the sunlight which in these particular wavelengths only absorbed by the chlorophyll and can be converted into the chemical energy. Other than this wavelength, they are not able to absorb. Okay, that's why this chemical to convert light energy into chemical energy, it should be in the this particular specific wavelength only. The light reaction can be studied under following headings. Okay, so in this particular, so the first stage is there, that is absorption of light energy by chloroplast pigments. Now this absorption of light energy, in which these chlorophyll pigments will absorb the light which is coming from the sun, which is directly coming onto this leaf surface, can be absorbed by the chloroplast chlorophyll pigment. Only those wavelength which can be absorbed by the chloroplast, that is 680 nanometer, less than 680, and okay, here we again see 680 nanometer by the PS1, while in the PS2 that is up to the 680 nanometer. Then second point is there, that is transfer of light energy from accessory pigment to chlorophyll A. Okay, in the last slide we discussed about all the photosynthetic pigments except chlorophyll A can be called as accessory pigment, because they are not able to do actually photosynthesis synthesis process, but they can absorb the light and transfer it to the chlorophyll A, where actually the light energy will be converted into the chemical energy, so that all the remaining pigments other than chlorophyll A will be called as the accessory pigments or antenna pigments. Okay, remember it for your definition purpose, what is meant by accessory pigment or antenna pigments. Okay, so all the light energy absorbed by these pigments will be transferred to the chlorophyll A for further action. Okay, in pigment system 1, the photoreaction center is P700, and in pigment system 2 it is P680. Okay, so these two pigment systems are there that we'll discuss in our next slides, but two photo pigment systems are there. First one is P700 and second one is the P680. Okay, then the next point is there, that is activation of chlorophyll molecule by photon of light. Okay, so the photon or quantum of light, okay, this is the actually energy which is carried out by the particular sunlight, okay, or which is required for the chlorophyll A to become an active pigment to involve in the photosynthesis process. Okay, when this particular quantum is there, at that time only the chlorophyll pigments will get activated for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, then actually this chlorophyll A, when absorb the light, at that time it converted into the excited triplet state of chlorophyll A. Means actually this chlorophyll is having 2 to 3 different stages or states, in which when it absorbed the light, at that time it converted into the excited triplet state of the chlorophyll A, and then again this chlorophyll A will release the electron. Okay, and this electron will get passed, and because of that this ATP formation will take place in the photosystem first and photosystem second. Okay, then the next stage is there, that is photolysis of water and O2 evolution, oxidation of water. Okay, so the here in the photolysis of water, actually the process happening, that is photolysis of water means what? This hydrogen H and OH, that is plus and minus, both ions are got separated because of the photons. Okay, and this lysis of the water will take place. That's why it is called as photolysis of water. Means what? Lysis, that is breakdown in the presence of photo, that is light. So that it is called as photolysis of water, and during which O2 is got evolved or got released. Then the last step, that is electron transport and production of assimilatory powers. And assimilatory power is nothing but the NADPH2 and ATPs. Okay, which are the different forms of the energy which can be used in different metabolic activities. Now this electron transport and production of assimilatory power, that is in the photolysis, and before that, when the activation of chlorophyll molecules takes place, at that time electron is got released, and this electron will passes through number of acceptors, and because of this passing of the electron, energy will get produced, and this particular electron is getting passed in two different photosystems, that is photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Okay, so this, because of this carrying of electron, energy is got produced in the form of ATP and NADPH2, which will be used in the dark reaction. Okay, so here it is also called as cyclic photophosphorylation and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Okay, in the cyclic photophosphorylation, the electron released from photosystem 1 goes through a series of coenzymes and come back to the photosystem 1 itself. Okay, whatever electron is getting released in the photosystem 1 will go through the particularly this modified chlorophyll A, then phylloquinone, then iron sulfur proteins, ferredoxine. Okay, and through these it convert this it forms NADPH2 here, and one more ATP, that is near this cytochrome B6 complex. Okay, and after that this particular electron will again coming back to the photosystem 1, and that's why this photosystem is called as cyclic photophosphorylation, because the electron which is emerged from P700, that is photosystem 1, will again come back to the P700. Okay, that's why it is called as a cyclic reaction. While in case of non-cyclic reaction, okay, or non-cyclic photophosphorylation, the electron released from photosystem 2 goes through a series of system and coenzymes to photosystem 1. Okay, here in the image we are able to check, here it is photosystem 2 and here it is P680. Okay, where this light energy is coming to this chlorophyll A and electron is got released. After this electron is released, it goes to the theophytine, then plastoquinine, then plastoquinone, and cytochrome B6F complex, where this particular electron which is coming from P680 is goes or enters to the photosystem first, which will not come back to the photosystem second, and that's why it is called as a non-cyclic photophosphorylation or non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Okay, difference is there, that is electron is coming coming to the same center, that is P700. That's why cyclic, and in the photosystem 2 it is not coming to the home, that is P680. Instead it enters into the photosystem 1 through this cytochrome B6F complex, and that's why it is called as non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Okay, and here in the cyclic photophosphorylation and non-cyclic photophosphorylation, in both the processes NADPH2 and ATPs are getting formed, and these ATPs or NADPH2 which are used in the process of dark reaction or Kelvin cycle to form again energy. Okay, so this is how this cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation is happening. And in the photosystem 1 and 2, this in between this arrow here some coenzymes and acceptors are there. Okay, for example, modified chlorophyll, then phylloquinone, then iron sulfur proteins, pyridoxine, pleoprotein. All these can be called as receptors. Okay, and they are accepting this electron and transferring to the next element. And in between these particular NADPH2 and ATPs are getting formed, and this will be used in the dark reaction. Okay, so this is how this uh, cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation will happen. Then another important concept is there, that is which is called as an red drop and emulsions enhancement effect. Okay, so in this particular, what is meant by this red drop or emulsion effect? So the first of all, the scientist which is involved in this particular phenomenon called Robert Emerson noticed a sharp decrease in quantum yield at wavelength greater than 680 nanometer while determining the quantum yield of photosynthesis in chlorella using monochromatic light of different wavelengths. Okay, when this scientist was trying to check the quantum yield in the photosynthesis, he come to know that or observe that after the wavelength of 680 nanometer, the quantum yield is getting decreased. And this decrease in quantum yield took place in the red part of the spectrum. This phenomenon is called as red drop. Okay, so in the light or the wavelength of the light, number of wavelengths can be seen or observed, in which ultraviolet rays are there, X-rays are there, gamma rays are there. Okay, and other than that, red, orange, yellow, green and blue violet colors are there, which are indicating different different wavelength of the light. Okay, out of which in the red, that is around 680 to 700 nanometer, this emerson this red drop can be observed. Later they found that the inefficient far red light beyond 680 nanometer could be made fully efficient if supplemented with light of shorter wavelength, that is blue light. Okay, so when this red light, that is more than 680 nanometer wavelength light, when given with the some supplemented shorter wavelengths of blue light, at that time the quantum yield is increased. Okay, and the quantum yield from the two combined beams of light was found to be greater than the sum effect of both the beams used separately. When we are using this red light and when we are using this blue light separately, at that time whatever quantum yield is there, as compared to that, when we are giving it in combined form, the quantum yield is very high. Okay, and this particular enhancement of photosynthesis is called as Emerson's enhancement. Okay, so many times this question was asked in our final theory examination, so kindly remember it. What is the red drop and Emerson's enhancement effect? Okay, in short, here red drop means what? Beyond 680 nanometer, that is in the red light, the quantum yield of the photosynthesis is decreased because of the higher wavelength. But when we are using it with the blue light, that is low wavelength light, at that time the quantum yield is get increased, and this enhancement is called as an Emerson's enhancement effect. Okay, so we will stop here today. In the next lecture we will continue with the another step of the photosynthesis, which is dark reaction, and which is also called as a Blackman's reaction. Okay, in which again 2 to 3 different formats are there or types are there of the plant on the basis of the dark reaction which is happening. in which first one is the C3 pathway, C4 pathway is there, and crassulacean acid metabolism is one more is there. Okay, so that we'll discuss in the our next lecture. Okay, so thank you.